All of these diseases are actually diseases of too much insulin.
What if you were told that the foods you are enjoying on a daily basis could be helping cancer grow? Even worse, doctors and cancer hospitals are recommending patients consume them. Dr. Jason Fung is here to uncover the shocking truth by exposing a mega dietary culprit boosting cancer growth. He will also tell us why excluding it from the diet would be the smartest thing for prevention and survival. Despite cancer being one of the deadliest diseases, patients often get misguided by mainstream medical advice. Natural diet-based strategies can be helpful in treating cancer, which is often overlooked by the medical industry. Instead, they focus on pharmaceutical solutions, which mostly fail to address the root cause of the disease. The targeting of the PI3K pathway through drug development is the primary example. The PI3K pathway is a crucial system that controls cell growth and expansion.
They're not adequately studied. I mean, there's so many chemicals, and what do we know about the effect on the human body for most of these? Like very, very little, right? I mean, they have this classification as generally recognized as safe, but I mean, that just means it doesn't kill you within a month, right? I mean, that's about it. So, and all of these chemicals, and even the ones that we eventually find out are really bad for us. I mean, they were originally approved and for use. So, we trust our government to sort of keep us safe from all these sort of chemicals.
Pharmaceutical companies are racing to develop solutions, many of which are not entirely safe, that aim to block the PI3K pathway, while more effective approaches may exist through dietary changes. When natural strategies can deliver the same powerful results, why resort to synthetic drugs?
What's so striking, Jason, is that, often when people go get cancer treatment, their doctors say, make sure you keep your weight up, eat ice cream, eat milkshakes, have cake, and I'm like, what are you telling them that for? I mean, that is death.
It's shocking how cancer patients at top-tier cancer hospitals are being encouraged to eat foods full of sugar to maintain their weight. Foods such as ice cream and milkshakes are quite common recommendations by these hospitals. Sugar is the main fuel source of cancer, and encouraging patients to have these foods is not just misleading, but could potentially be deadly. Even the physicians appointed in these medical institutions are aware of this. Still, the hospital nutritionists recommend using high carbohydrate diets for vulnerable patients. Excessive use of sugar results in chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and metabolic dysfunction. All of these conditions are vital to create an environment where cancer cells can be fostered. Dr. Jason Fung and others warn that excessive sugar consumption and its profound impact on cancer progression pose a serious and alarming threat. Sugar rapidly increases glucose levels in the bloodstream as it enters the body, resulting in a spike in insulin release. High insulin levels are not only associated with diabetes and metabolic dysfunction, but also support cancer progression and development. Insulin helps in the growth and development of cells, including the harmful cells. Moreover, chronic insulin resistance coming from excessive sugar intake further worsens inflammation, which is also a key factor in the start and advancement of various cancers. Inflammation that results from sugar leads to an environment in the body that weakens immune defense and promotes the transformation and survival of cancerous cells. Sugar also allows the cancer cells to grow and spread at a much faster rate. Cancer cells mainly use a metabolic pathway called glycolysis, which breaks down glucose. This is also known as the Warburg effect. These cells get enough supply of fuel required to thrive when the body is flooded with sugar using the glycolysis process. Before we continue, please note that this content is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding your health, or before making changes to your lifestyle, diet, or medications. Multiple research studies prove that sugar, inflammation, and cancer progression have a direct relation. A review published in Cancer's Journal showed that an increased use of sugar can lead to cancer development and progression. The review explained the role of high sucrose or high fructose diets in inflammation and glucose metabolic pathways. Such diets foster an environment that is ideal for cancer growth. Another meta-analysis was published in BMC Cancer. It found a positive association between high serum glucose levels and an increased risk of cancer. The analysis suggested that hyperinsulinemia and insulin resistance when stays for too long play a role in carcinogenesis through mechanisms such as inflammation and impaired apoptosis. This is often caused by high sugar intake. Similarly, another review published in Interdisciplinary Cancer Research discussed the link between increased cancer risk and sugar consumption. The review highlighted the disturbances in insulin regulation, oxidative stress, and inflammation caused by high sugar intake. These disruptions are primary contributors to cancer progression. With such misguidance on sugar-loaded foods being given to cancer patients, the need for nutritional reforms is required. Individuals can work on their diet by removing refined sugar and adopting low-glycemic, nutrient-rich foods to maintain glucose levels, reduce inflammation, and create unfavorable conditions for cancer cells. In the end, the treatment outcomes and overall health will be enhanced.
There's other risk factors, and one of the things that I think is very concerning to me is these obesogens, which are environmental chemicals that not only are directly toxic and carcinogenic, but they're actually causing insulin resistance. So they're really creating a double whammy: pesticides, herbicides, additives.
Sugar is not the only culprit in cancer risk. Other factors can also contribute, such as environmental toxins. Today's modern life has an increased amount of obesogens, which is a chemical known for disrupting metabolism and promoting fat accumulation. Obesogens are commonly found in pesticides, herbicides, food additives, and household products, contributing not only to increased obesity, but also directly supporting insulin resistance and cancer development. By taking the necessary steps in daily life, you can reduce your cancer risk. Dr. Jason Fung, in his book The Cancer Code, discussed the important role of hyperinsulinemia. He highlighted that consistent eating habits and diets with high carbs result in hyperinsulinemia, which supports cancer growth. Studies have confirmed the rise in obesity-related cancers, such as breast, colorectal, prostate, liver, and pancreatic cancers. Various other types of cancers are recording a decline, whereas obesity-related cancers are increasing due to widespread metabolic dysfunction. A few decades earlier, the dietary habits were significantly different from the present era. In the 1970s, fasting was a common practice, with people having 3 meals a day without constant snacking. In present times, people are over-consuming ultra-processed foods and sugar, which is resulting in insulin spikes. This ultimately creates a more favorable environment for cancer to grow easily.
And by 2004, it was almost up to 6 times a day, right? So it's like, wow, that's crazy. And it was never this sort of deliberate, hey, there's good scientific evidence that we should eat 6 times a day. It just sort of crept in there. And I think part of it was, of course, the snack food companies wanted to promote it. And, people thought it was a good idea. So then it became almost gospel. Oh, you have to eat 6 meals a day, right? And
hold up. Did you know inflammation is one of the biggest causes of cancer, heart disease, and aging? And most people are making it worse with what they eat. That's why I put together the Anti-Inflammation and Immunity Smoothie and Juice Guide. 80+ science-backed recipes designed to stop inflammation, boost immunity, and help your body heal. Grab your copy now from the video description below.
Yeah, so both fasting and ketogenic diets have the same sort of goal at the end, which is trying to lower insulin.
Natural strategies such as intermittent fasting, ketogenic diets, and whole food-based approaches are greatly known for cancer prevention. Fasting for 14 to 16 hours daily controls the eating pattern, which allows insulin levels to drop, reducing cancer risk. Longer fasts are also observed, such as 24-hour or multi-day fasting, to further aid in weight loss and metabolic fitness. Individuals often fear muscle loss or cognitive decline during the fasting period, but the study shows that fasting helps in burning fat and it does not decline mental function. Rather, it enhances the cellular repair process, which helps in reducing cancer risk and promotes longevity. High insulin levels not only increase the risk of cancer, but also cause various other diseases such as diabetes, heart issues, dementia, and depression. You can take necessary steps such as cutting out sugar, processed foods, and excessive carbohydrates to significantly lower the risk of these diseases. The potential health benefits, such as cancer prevention, improved metabolic health, and longevity, have allowed fasting and intermittent fasting to gain significant attention. During fasting, individuals abstain from eating for a certain time period, whereas intermittent fasting is based on a structured eating pattern that alters between eating and fasting windows. The most common IF practices include time-restricted eating, alternate day fasting, and periodic extended fasts.
Treatment. So fasting is actually fascinating because there's all these different things we're discovering. So one of the things is sort of autophagy. So as you fast, of course, your nutrient sensors go down, so mTOR, insulin go down, and then you activate this process called autophagy.
Fasting has the proven benefit of lowering insulin levels, which helps in reducing inflammation and promotes fat burning. Fasting allows the body to move into a state called autophagy. The body in this state removes damaged cells and produces new healthy ones, which also reduces the risk of various chronic diseases, including cancer. Autophagy greatly supports the cellular system by enhancing the cell repair process. It also takes down cancerous cells, offering protective effects.
Nutrients are available, you want to grow. When nutrients are not available, you don't want to grow and you want to go into this sort of maintenance repair mode. And everybody thinks growth is good, but growth is not always good, especially as an adult. So I always say, think about a car. Like if you have a sports car and you rev that engine and you're running it fast all the time, you're going to go fast, which is great, but it's going to burn out much faster. So you can't just keep revving that engine, keep redlining it. You got to sometimes bring it to the shop, put it in the garage, let it rest and all this stuff.
A pit stop.
Yeah, exactly. A little pit stop. So that's the point of the human body too. You can either go for growth or you can go for longevity or cellular maintenance repair.
Adding intermittent fasting to a healthy lifestyle is a great way for individuals to get these benefits. It improves overall health and reduces the risk of many chronic diseases. On the other hand, there is a whole food-based approach called ketogenic diet that encourages people to eat only healthy stuff. Individuals are restricted to eating minimally processed, nutrient-dense foods that support overall health and reduce the risk of many deadly diseases. This diet mainly focuses on natural foods, such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, which is why it provides vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. All this plays a vital role in fighting inflammation and removing harmful free radicals that are related to cancer development. Vegetables such as kale, broccoli, and cauliflower are full of sulforaphane content, which has been shown to have anti-cancer properties. Similarly, berries have contents called flavonoids and anthocyanins that provide aid in protecting DNA from damage. Whole grains, on the other hand, such as oats, quinoa, and brown rice, have both fiber and phytonutrients, resulting in improved gut health and reduced risk of colorectal cancer. Before we continue, if you're eager to explore more on how your diet can reduce your cancer risk and enhance your overall health, don't miss out on our Vitazen Health newsletter. Sign up using the link below and get weekly updates packed with expert tips, mouth-watering recipes, and practical advice to help you live longer and feel amazing, all delivered straight to your inbox. A healthy immune system and maintained insulin levels. A healthy immune system and maintained insulin levels can be achieved by lowering the consumption of processed and refined foods, added sugars, and unhealthy fats. Switching to healthy fats sourced from avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish reduces inflammation and supports cell repairing process.
For a living, and he's like, Yeah, sugar just scares me. And that's the same sort of thing that Siddhartha Mukherjee is talking about too, right? And that's the whole point, is that with ketogenic diets, with fasting, and of course, fasting, you have to cycle it because you can't obviously fast. You can't fast forever, right? As opposed to a ketogenic diet, which is sort of very low carbohydrate. You could sustain that for years and years. You can't fast forever. You need some food
Yeah.
at some point. But the idea is the same. What you're trying to do is really reduce those insulin levels.
The ketogenic diet has gained massive attention due to its role in cancer prevention and treatment, since it is a low-carb, high-fat eating plan. The body enters a state called ketosis when carbohydrate intake is reduced significantly and replaced with healthy fats. In this state, the body burns fat and uses it as energy instead of glucose. Cancer cells primarily depend upon sugar to gain energy and grow faster. Depriving them of sugar can slow tumor progression. Research suggests that insulin levels and inflammation are lower when an individual switches to the ketogenic diet, and these two factors are key drivers of cancer. Moreover, the ketones produced during ketosis have been shown to aid healthy cells while producing unfavorable conditions for cancer cells to flourish. The ketogenic diet has positive impacts even beyond cancer treatment. It also enhances conventional treatments. Studies suggest that when the ketogenic diet is combined with chemotherapy or radiation, it may cause cancer cells to become vulnerable to treatment. A review was published in MDPY, which studied the effects of ketogenic diet on cancer. The results showed that the Warburg effect restricted carbohydrates, which interfered with cancer development and progression. For those who are already diagnosed with cancer, natural methods such as diet and fasting can provide an aid to conventional treatments, but not replace them. Treatments such as surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation are essential in many cases. However, pairing them up with dietary changes and fasting can enhance their effect. So that's the worst food fueling up cancer, but it can be avoided by simply switching to a more healthy diet. By opting for whole foods and cutting out sugar and carbohydrates, the risk of cancer can be reduced. Moreover, the fasting method and ketogenic diets are also helpful in clearing cancer cells from the body. In the end, these are methods that should be combined with conventional treatments at medical institutes. If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more informational videos. Have you ever followed a ketogenic diet? Let us know in the comments below.